Greetings everyone, this is Gulab here, and now I'm beginning part 3 talking about Nagas. Nagas are serpents or snakes and also sometimes dragons. And we're starting with Nagas in the Vedas, Nagas in India. And then from here, after this video, I'll be expanding further and talking about in Buddhism. And then we'll be discussing the Abrahamic religions after this. All right, so now we're going to talk about the serpent. In the ancient Indian symbolisms, the tree and the serpent are twin spirits, and the two have close association with the mountains. The big trees that populate the hills are the natural abode of the serpents that move around freely amidst the branches and the foliage of the giant trees. The seals of the Indus Valley excavated from these sites in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro also depict close association of trees with the serpents. The Sanskrit expression Naga has a dual connotation as serpent and mountain. Naga is also a term that is often used in Indian literature to denote a distinguished person, Nagadipati, a city, Nagar, a precious stone, Nagamani, a flower, Nagamali, and Indra's elephant, Nagendra. Apart from the trees and mountains, the domain of the serpents is also said to be the enchanted underworld, the realm of the Nagaloka or Pataloka, ruled by King Vasuki, the Nagaraj. It is described as an immense province with its capital at Bhogavati, crowded with palaces and mansions, and filled with precious gems, Nagamani, jewels, gold, other treasures, and with various other types of riches. Srimad Bhagavat Purana 5:24-31 describes the netherland known as Patal or Nagaloka, where there are many demoniac serpents, and the masters of Nagaloka such as Sanka, Kulika, Mahasanka, Sveta, Dhananjaya, Dhritarashtra, Shankakuda, Kambal, Ashvatar, and Devadat. The chief among them is Vasuki. They are all extremely angry, and they have many, many hoods. Some snakes 5 hoods, some 7, some 10, others 100, and others 1,000. These hoods are bedecked with valuable gems and with the light emanating from the gems. Srimad Bhagavat Purana, 11th chapter, 12th skanda, mentions the names of the Nagas associated with each of the months in a year. Okay, I'm going to skip over all those names right there. The serpents are also often associated with bodies of water, including rivers, lakes, seas, and wells, and are also regarded as the guardians of treasures. However, the favorite place of dwelling of the serpent is said to be the ocean, which is described as the abode of the Nagas, Naganam Alayam. They are embodiments as also the custodians of terrestrial waters. The Nagas are creatures of abundant power who defend the underworld, confer fertility and prosperity upon those who are associated with them, be it a meadow, a shrine, a temple, a person, or even a kingdom. Thus, the Nagas are virtually almost everywhere, below the ground, under the sea, in the lakes and springs, on the mountains, on the trees, in the burrows, and even in the skies. Ancient Indians both feared and revered the snakes, as they were seen to be associated with power, fear, and deference. The snakes are always looked upon in every culture over the generations as mysterious, dangerous, unseen, and unacceptable within human habitats. And yet there has always been a strange kind of fascination towards those meandering, cold-blooded reptiles. In India, somehow, since has since acquired the dubious distinction of being the snakebite capital, it is said an international team comprising several Indian researchers has since reported high-quality sequencing of Indian cobra genome, unlocking the secret code of its venom that carries 139 genes, out of which 19 are linked to venom-specific toxins. It is believed the finding may help save thousands of lives in future as it opens up the doors to create better quality antivenoms in the laboratory using recombinant DNA technology. That was just a little side note, sorry. Okay, apart from being symbols of fertility, the serpents have deep religious significance. The serpent lore in India is not only vast and varied, but it is also very old and persisting. After the cow, the snake was perhaps the most revered animal of ancient India. Legendary serpents such as Sesha, Vasuki lent the snake a certain prestige. Even as early as the 1st century, Huvishka, the Scythian Kushan emperor, had erected a stone sculpture of a hooded serpent with an inscription propitiation to the worshipful Naga, Priyati Bhagava Naga. That was to mark the consecration of a tank and a garden dedicated to Bhagavat Bhumi Naga. The practice of erecting such Naga slabs for worship must have been in vogue even during much earlier periods. There was also the practice of erecting Naga Kashta, a pole with a snake-shaped logo at the top, to mark the occasion. There are, of course, plenty of references to snake worship in the Hindu and the Buddhist mythologies. That tradition still continues. Hindus worship snakes in the temples as well as in their natural habitats, offering them milk, incense, and prayers. The snakes seem to have secured a powerful hold upon the imagination of people, prompted by the several characteristics associated with this creature. There was a great allure towards snakes, the mysteries they hold, the symbolisms that they project. The snake undoubtedly is a unique creature. It is decidedly unhuman, a manusha, yet exhibiting a bewildering blend of human and serpentine uncanny powers. It is also unlike any other animal because of its particular shape and its distinctive ability to move swiftly in mysterious gliding motion without the aid of limbs or wings. Further, it is the power of their unblinking, mesmerizing eyes that holds one spellbound. The other characteristic features of the snakes are its forked tongue and the periodical casting of its skin, rejuvenating itself each time. The practice of shedding its skin from time to time suggests longevity and even immortality of the snakes. It also suggests a sense of freeing oneself from the evil of ignorance and progressing towards attaining freedom from mundane existence. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4.4.7 remarks, like a snake's skin, dead and cast off, lies upon an anthill, likewise lies his body, but that which is bodiless, immortal and life, is pure Brahman, is pure light. These fabulous beings are also believed to have the power of speech. Therefore, the serpents came to be invested with divine wisdom. Thus, the serpent, by all accounts, is indeed the uncanniest of all creatures. Above all, it is the deadly venom they hold and inject that causes the whole species to be looked upon as dreaded beings that are to be feared, respected, and worshipped. There is always an aura of mystery surrounding the snakes. As a physician as well as a naturalist to the East India Company in the South India, he was Patrick Russell was a Scottish surgeon and naturalist who worked in India. He made it his aim to find a way for people to identify venomous snakes. All right, I'm going to just continue on. I'm not so particularly interested in all this snake bite stuff. All right, let's see what else here. names of the snakes, qualities. Let's see if they're going to get into some of the stories here. Okay, let's start here. The mythical cosmology of ancient India believes that the earth on which we live is held and supported by the enormous 1,000-headed serpent Sesha. He is described as one whose 1,000 hoods are the base of the world, carrying the load of the orb of the earth and spreading good qualities. Now, there's a nice image about that. There is also a close connection between the sacred Naga and the anthill. It is looked upon not only as holy abode of the Nagas, but also as the entrance to the mysterious world of snakes, or Patal, far below the world of humans. Some mention of a connection between Rainbow Indradanush and the anthills Valmiki, where the Nagas reside. Varahamihira, the mathematician, and Kalidas, the great poet, speak of rainbows that issue forth from the top of the anthill. Some have tried to explain, saying that such phenomenon could possibly occur when the evening sun rays fall on crest jewel atop the hood of the great Nagas emerging out of the anthill. There's a rampant belief that snakes drink milk. The cobras are therefore worshipped with milk offerings, especially on Nag Panchami Day. But in fact, the snakes, which are reptiles, have no mammary glands and therefore cannot digest milk. Some have expressed the fear that consuming milk is harmful to the snakes and might even cause death. There is a belief that snakes use their tails as a whip, and the green snakes aim at the eyes of humans. The snakes are symbolically related with astrological formations. The planet Rahu is identified with the head of the snake, while Ketu is identified with the snake's tail. And when the other planets in the horoscope fall in between these two, then it is said to give rise to the inauspicious Kala Sarp dosha, which it is feared can wreak havoc in one's life. A set of special prayers and rituals are recommended to get rid of the ill effects of this dosha. While the animal is dreaded on one side, it is admired on the other side. Since there is a faith that the snakes are associated with gods, ancestors, pitris, and other super beings, they are even called Devajan, God people. They are mentioned along with other celestial beings such as Devas, Gandharvas, Apsars, Yakshas, and Pitras. On the other hand, the most dreadful and awesome attribute of certain varieties of snakes is their lethal power to inflict sudden death by injecting deadly poison. Let's see here. Okay. Nagas, even today, the Indian women desirous of begetting offspring do worship Naga or its replica in hope and reverence. Killing or even harming a Naga cobra is dreaded as the deadliest of sins. It is feared that the wrath of the serpents would haunt generation after generation. It could be said, while the major gods of the Devi are worshipped in order to attain salvation, moksha, release from ignorance and freedom from the attachments of earthly coils, the Nagas are propitiated for practical purposes, such as to avoid their malevolent actions, to seek their blessings, either to beget progeny or to secure health and wealth and to ward off evil effects, and also for protection against drought and such other disasters. All right, there's some symbolism talk here. I'm going to just skip over the symbolisms. Let's see what else they're going to talk about. Ahi Budnya came to be particularly associated with Ajak Ekapada, the supporter of the sky, streams, and the oceans, and with the thundering flood. And Aja Ikapada was described as a kind of Agni, Apam, Napatu, the raging fire in the ocean waters. Aja Ikapada in turn was associated with Rudra, that it is surmised might have laid the foundation for linking the Naga cult with Shiva. But it is in the Yajur Veda, and more particularly in the Atharvan Veda, you find several passages relating to serpent worship. In the Maitrayani Samhita of the Yajur Veda, prayers are addressed to the snakes, Sarpa, which move along the earth, the sky, and the heavens, and which have made their abode in the waters, and to the snakes which are the tree spirits, as also to the snakes which are as bright as the rays of the sun. There are, of course, numerous interesting references in the Atharva Veda to the mysteries, powers, poisons, and the healing remedies of the snakes. There are also several magical spells and charms to avert the dangers caused by snakes. There are prayers that are submitted to the snakes in order to solicit their protection against demons, as also against their own tribe. At the same time, there are charms to counteract the powers of the wicked snakes. It seems to me that there's ones that are the more wicked or evil snakes, and then there's the good snakes. The prayers seeking protection mention, let not the snakes, O God, slay our offspring, our people. What is shut together may it not open. What is open may it not shut together. Homage unto the Devas. All right. Then, in the Atharva Veda Samhita, homage is submitted in particular to 4 types of serpents named Tirashiraji, cross-lined, Asita, black, Pridaku or Svaja, adder, and Babru, brown, or Kanaka Parvan. These 4 are associated with the guardian deities, Adipati, of the 4 quarters of the space. Asita is associated with Agni as the warden Rakshitar of the east. Tirashiraji with Indra as the regent of the south. Pridaku with Varuna as warden of the west. And Kanaka Parvan with Kubera as the warden of the north. Okay, and here, so offerings, again, in the Taittiriya Brahman Kanda, during the course of the Ashvamedha Yagna, offerings of ghee and barley are submitted to the serpents by the devas, praying for their help in subduing the asuras. The Griya Sutras also contain accounts of the Sarpabali, the annual rites, yajus, conducted during the full moon of the first month of the rainy season and the full moon of Shravan, the first month of winter, with the twofold purpose of honoring or gratifying the Nagas and other warding off the evils caused by the snakes. The Bodhayana Griya Sutra mentions several serpentine deities that are to be propitiated on the occasion of Sarpabali, and these include Naga deities such as Dhritarashtra, Takshaka, Vaishalaki, Tarksha, Ahira, and Sanda. And here in the Ashvalayana Griya, the divine snakes that dwell in different directions are divided into 3 groups, as those pertaining to the earth, Prithvi, the sky, Antariksha, and the heaven, Divyadesha. In addition to the classification of the serpents chiefly based upon their habitation, there is also a classification made with reference to their color and to the celestial deities to whom they belong. So So here the payasa is offered to gods and Nagas alike, Indra, Aja Ekapada, and Ahirbudnya. To the Lord of the serpents belonging to Agni of the yellowish terrestrial ones, to the Lord of the white serpents belonging to Vayu of the aerial ones, to the Lord of the overpowering serpents belonging to Surya of the celestial ones, and to the firm one, the son of the earth, that is from the Parakshara Griha Sutra. Among these, the white serpents, the Svetanaga, the sons of Vidarbha, were regarded as the most powerful and capable of restraining the other serpents from causing needless harm. That's very interesting. Okay, then it talks about the Mahabharata. I'm just going to skip over this part here because I can't read everything. Then it's about the Puranas. I'm most interested in what it says in the actual Vedas because they're more accurate and true. The Puranas are a lot of made-up stories, so I don't trust that so much. Tree and serpent worship. Here's something interesting. This Ferguson J. in his Tree and Serpent Worship, or Illustrations of Mythology and Art in India, a remarkable work of research, studied the serpent worship practices in several regions under the cultural and religious faiths. The study, apart from the eastern countries like India, China, Ceylon, and Cambodia, also covers parts of the Western world such as Egypt, Greece, Germany, France, and Scandinavian countries, as also Africa and Americas. Ferguson, in his introductory essay, writes, "The worship of the serpent is not so strange as it might at first sight appear, as was well remarked by an ancient author. The serpent alone of all animals without legs or arms, or any of the unusual appliances for locomotion, still moves with singular celerity, and he might have added grace, for no one who has watched a serpent slowly progressing over the ground with his head erect and his body following apparently without exertion can fail to be struck with the peculiar beauty of the motion. There is no jerk, no reflex motion, as in all other animals, even fishes, a continuous progression in the most graceful curves. Their general form, too, is full of elegance, and their colors vary and sometimes very beautiful, and their eyes bright and piercing. Then, too, a serpent can exist for an indefinite time without food or apparent hunger. He periodically casts his skin, and, as the ancients fabled, by that process renewed his youth. Add to this his longevity, which, though not so great as often supposed, is still sufficient to make the superstitious forget how long an individual may have been revered in order that they may ascribe to him immortality." Let's see. It goes on, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. All right. I think I will just stop there for this part. And okay. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. And I will continue this topic about Nagas, serpents, snakes, and dragons. So I got many more videos coming about this topic. So thanks for listening, and you all have a great day.